Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the City of Christchurch, firstly, it's a great honour to be able to welcome you to this beautiful town hall of ours. But it's not very often in the history of our beautiful garden city that we're able to welcome into our midst a person who is right at the forefront of shaping the world that we're all part of, the world in which we live. And it's a great honour to be able to welcome the United States Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton, into the middle of this city. Madam Secretary.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Therese Arsenau. I'm from the University of Canterbury. And I have to say, I have a very easy job this afternoon. I'm introducing a woman who needs absolutely no introduction. It's fair to say that Mrs. Clinton has been at the very heart of American political power and a political heavyweight for over 2 decades. And she's now brought these incredible qualities to the world stage as well. So I'd like to focus instead on 2 things that I think make her absolutely extraordinary. It has been a career unlike any other. She has followed her own unique political path from First Lady to Senator to Secretary of State. And I think it's that taking that road less traveled by that has given her the unique perspective that makes her so valuable in the role of Secretary of State. The second thing, of course, is that she's a powerful role model for women. One of only 38 women ever to serve in the U.S. Senate, and the first elected to represent the state of New York, Mrs. Clinton won more primaries and delegates than any other female candidate in presidential primary history, and I have to say that it was a race that had us in New Zealand absolutely transfixed, even to the point when our own national election was taking place at the same time, and I'm afraid it sort of paled in comparison. It was a really exciting campaign. But of course she's here to recommit, as she said, to the U.S.-New Zealand partnership. And some people talk about the thawing of relations that came yesterday with the signing of the Wellington delegation. I see it more as a coming of age of the relationship. And it's a relationship based on unity in diversity. We are deciding to build unity on the shared positions that we have in foreign policy, while still allowing and recognizing that we have distinct views on other issues. And we've already seen the fruits of the labor in the announcement yesterday of an issue that I think would be very close to your heart, Madam Secretary, a program about the empowerment of women in the Pacific. And that was something that's also very dear to my heart. So that's why she's in New Zealand. She's come to Christchurch in particular, and I heard just as I walked in that she is in fact the first Secretary of State to officially visit this town. And she's come in solidarity with us post-earthquake. And I think as Cantabrians, we've been incredibly moved by the reaction of people around the country and around the world. And we certainly do appreciate you coming here today. So it is with great pleasure that I welcome the Secretary of State, Hillary Rodham Clinton, to Christchurch and to the podium.
Well, good afternoon, and Kia Ora. I want to thank Dr. Arsenau for that introduction and for her kind words about our relationship, which is such an important reason as to why I'm here for my first visit to New Zealand and my very first visit to Christchurch. I want to thank Mayor Parker for his introduction. I want to recognize Gerry Brownlee, the Earthquake Recovery Minister. This is a very hard job, and we're very grateful for your leadership. And I am delighted to have heard and to see just a little bit with my own eyes about how Christchurch has rebounded from the September 4th earthquake. It's hard to imagine for someone like me coming in now that a quake of the magnitude of 7.1 could have hit just 2 months ago. Many people deserve recognition for this speedy recovery, including both the mayor and the minister, but so many others, members of your local fire brigades and police departments, the men and women who did so much in the aftermath of the quake. And I want to acknowledge the students at Canterbury University who set up a Facebook page for volunteers and within 3 days had organized more than 1,300 people into cleanup crews. For everyone here in Christchurch, the United States sends its best wishes and lets you know that I'm very impressed by how this community responded, and more than that, I recognize that Kiwis come to the aid of so many others when they're in need, including those countries that had been devastated by the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004 and the Samoan tsunami last year. Americans admire your willingness to step up and do whatever is needed, and do it with resilience and irrepressible good cheer. These core Kiwi and American attributes are the foundation of the long friendship between our two countries. Earlier today, I visited the War Memorial in Wellington. I met veterans from World War II and Korea, Vietnam, and those who are serving today. We have shared the sacrifice and the service of so many of our brave citizens together. And now in Afghanistan, the United States is proud to work with your provincial reconstruction team in Bamiyan province and your elite special air services in Kabul. Our scientists are working together to understand better the effects of climate change, and I just came from an event out at the airport at the U.S.-New Zealand Antarctica project to thank the people of Christchurch and New Zealand for the support that they have given to generations of American scientists and researchers who, working side by side with your own, have begun to unlock the mysteries of Antarctica, which have direct impact and relevance to our challenge from climate change, and in fact have constructed wind turbines for renewable energy so we do not have to transport so much fuel, and have also engaged just recently with a New Zealand crew rescuing an American worker. Our student exchange programs strengthen long-term bonds, and we're cooperating on health innovations, sustainable energy, biofuels, and so much more. We have made a decision in the Obama administration that we want to broaden and deepen our relationship, look for ways we can work together on the challenges of the 21st century, from non-proliferation to the alleviation of poverty, from women's rights to violent extremism. And so yesterday, the foreign minister and I signed the Wellington Declaration, which commits both of our countries to deepening our cooperation. It declares our goal of promoting sustainable development and strong democratic institutions across the Pacific region. And it sets the stage for a deeper, more regular dialogue on these important challenges. And it signals that we will work together through global and regional institutions like the East Asia Summit. Now we do not agree on every issue. I don't know two countries that do. I don't even know two people who do. And nuclear issues have divided us, but we share a common goal. Both of us are committed to creating a world without nuclear weapons. In fact, President Obama has set that as a vision for the United States. Now, I'm aware it may not happen in his lifetime or in yours, but it must remain a goal that we continue slowly but surely to move toward. And in the meantime, we agree that we must never allow nuclear materials to fall into the wrong hands. So we were very pleased that Prime Minister Key came to the Nuclear Security Summit in Washington early this year. There is an enormous agenda ahead of both of our countries and also between our peoples. It will not surprise you to hear that New Zealand is highly admired by Americans who are intrigued by what you have built here, who are trying to understand rugby and the great attraction that it holds, and who are very committed to learning more about New Zealand. And I'm particularly committed to learning more from you. So what I'd like to do now is to take your questions and comments. Our ambassador who's here has started a very important, innovative program in Wellington where he reaches out and has students from all the universities throughout New Zealand. I think I'm told there are 8 major ones who have students chosen to serve as advisors and sounding boards so that we learn more about what younger people in New Zealand are thinking. And as the example of the Canterbury students show with using Facebook for putting together cleanup crews, there are new ways of connecting and communicating that are part of what I'm trying to do as Secretary of State in establishing what I call 21st century diplomacy. And so let's get into any thoughts, questions, ideas, or comments that anyone here might have. And Therese will call on people if you want to raise your hand, and I'll be happy to have this dialogue. So who wants to start? Here's a hand right there. And please identify yourself just for purposes of introduction.
Firstly, Madam Secretary, thank you so much for coming to our beautiful country. My name is Andrew Patterson, and it's an absolute privilege to be able to ask you a question today. Kelly, Honey, and I here are both postgraduate students from the University of Otago School of Business, and we're both particularly interested in negotiation and alternative dispute resolution. We understand that you were recently very instrumental in getting Israeli and Palestinian negotiators back to the table to continue or to discuss peace settlement. And we're basically curious as to how you went about achieving this, and also if you could perhaps provide us with your views on approaching difficult negotiation situations. Thank you.
Well, I'm delighted that you and Kelly are interested in dispute resolution and negotiations, because that's the core of diplomacy, but it's also the core mechanism in politics, in democracies, in business, and in families to negotiate toward what preferably are win-win, not zero-sum outcomes. Specifically with respect to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, as you're well aware, there have been many negotiations going back many years, most particularly back to the Oslo process. And unfortunately, there has not yet been a resolution of the outstanding issues in the conflict. And it is an incredibly intense, emotionally fraught set of issues for both peoples, which makes any negotiation hard to get into, hard to continue, and hard to resolve.